Good evening, Doctor. We are from Group 8 and we are going to discuss about question number 4. Let me introduce me and my group members. Me, myself, Sodishwari Anandan. My metric number is EX03538 and Mr. Ting, Niresha and Kishantini. Luca Pacioli's impact on development of accounting today, mainly introduced in book about the based of on receivable inventories, liabilities, capital, and year-end closing entry. He brought a big revolution in ethics of accounting, the rule of 72, which is a method of determining economic return, use of ledger, journal, and bookkeeping, balance sheet, and income process. Third is calculation on share also can't be excluded in Lucas accounts theory. Actually, it's play a big role in business nowadays. Even shareholders that hold the share is the main part in business and run out the accounting part in those business. Next is these fundamental are essential to the progress of business, including the development of the capital market system and modern economics that facilitated the ever-rising standard of living for people around the world. Next, I will pass to Mr. Ting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sotis. Okay, the question number B actually is discuss the development of the accounting theory. So the development of accounting theory actually is a common assumptions that is a set of the rules that must be followed in order to come out with the accounting standard. So many study actually has discovered that the advantage of the accounting theory actually is a major source of the development of the accounting standard and principle. That is why the accounting theory must be defined in a set of the critical and then the clarifies the principle and practices. There are many approaches to development accounting theory, but the normatives and the positive approach are the more important than the others. So we can see that there is a pre-theory period from the 1400 to the 1800 years. Okay, then but there is the general sciences period from the 1800 to the 1955 that the analysis of what's really happened. However, from the 1956 to 1970, there's a standard accounting which state that what should happen. And from 1970 to now, there is a constructing accounting which state that explain the accounting practices. Next. The normative approach specifies what the theory should be, while the positive approach specifies what it is. So as a result, both approach actually is critical in the development of the accounting theory. There are two main developments in the accounting theory, both are which have the significant impact to the today accounting standard and principle. The first thing actually is the transition from the normative to the positive was the first. Then this table actual outcome will be used to enhance the accounting analysis. Then the shifting from the normative to the positive accounting actually will have the impact to the evaluation of the accounting principle and standards. Then when come to the second one, actually is for the useful decision making that is used for to do the accounting, to set out the accounting standards. So there is Riha Carlos describe the rule of the accounting as the rule of the accounting actually is to produce the information about the economic behaviors resulting from the field activity within its environment. So the result actually is based on the represented by what the FSP call the information spectrum. So it's describe on how the accounting process affect the quality of the accounting position is based on this growth. So next I will pass to the Nerisha.
Thank you, Mr. T. So this slide speaks about why we use theories in accounting. It helps to explain what is happening in the accounting practice, and then it helps to describe what is happening in the accounting practice, and it's also predict what might happen in the accounting practice, and it will recommend or suggest what should happen in accounting practice. Next slide. So the main thing in positive theory is positive theory explains positive research seeks to predict and explain particular phenomena. The associated theories of positive research are positive accounting theories. Positive theories are developed through some form of deductive logical reasoning. Thus, the explanation and prediction of particular phenomena is assessed based on observation, that is, observing how the theory prediction corresponded with the observed facts. The normative theories prescribe particular action. It is based on what the researchers believers should occur in particular circumstance. As it is not based on the observation, it cannot be evaluated on whether they reflect actual accounting practice. They may rather suggest radical changes in the way things are done. Next, I pass to Kishantini.
Thank you, Anisha. And the last question is, how do the recent financial reporting regulation are explained by the public interest theory, capture theory, and private interest theory? And first of all, for the public interest theory, is the regulatory theory has become a backbone of the modern public economy as well as a socialist and rightward and to the politician. And public interest theory is the economic market are extremely damaged and has a propensity to run insufficiently. As a result, government intervention is required to direct and monitor the economic market. And public interest theory for overstating the extent of the market failure. And even when the competitive forces are insufficient, private orderings do not successfully to address the potential market failures. Then the market failures occur when there is an imperfection information gap between the buyers and sellers or the certain market signal. And next slide. Theory for the public interest theory members of society. As a result, is until the private marginal benefit from consulting. Next slide. Okay. And for the private interest theory is based on the presumption that person then form to defend their own economic interests and it's dominating the regulatory process. According to the private interest, there is a regulatory market with a common supply and demand power acting as in the financial market. Regulation on the private interest theory is more about a competition for power than the public interest. Regulatory outcomes reflect the interests of the most powerful group. Next slide. Politicians are not neutral a bit and they are seek re-election and are able to vote. They will sell their power to cost to, or transfer the wealth to those most likely to achieve their re-election or increase their wealth or both. Capture theory on the private interest theory intend to create on evidence that interest groups are eventually engaged in regulation. According to the regulation is provided in the response to the needs of the interest of to maximize their members' incomes and interests. Regulatory capture theory of a private interest theory in which predominate the interests of group or parties whose behavior is regulated.